Did you know that every single day, millions of players log in to play Valorant? By 2025, Riot's tactical shooter has an estimated 20 to 25 million monthly active players worldwide. Since its launch in June 2020, Valorant has grown into one of the biggest competitive shooters in the world, rivaling the likes of Counter-Strike, Overwatch, and Call of Duty. In just a few years, it's gone from a brand new project to one of the most talked about games in esports and streaming culture. But how exactly did Valorant get here? How did a brand new FPS become so successful in such a short time? Today, we're going to break down the story of Valorant, from its origins to its explosive rise and where it stands today. To understand Valorant's rise, we first need to look at the company behind it, Riot Games. Riot is the same studio that created League of Legends, one of the most popular multiplayer games ever made. With League, Riot proved they could dominate the esports and competitive gaming space. By the time Riot announced Valorant, the company already had global recognition, massive resources, and a dedicated fan base. This was Riot's biggest advantage. A completely new studio might have struggled to break into the FPS market, but Riot had trust. Gamers already knew Riot could build a game with long-term support, balance updates, and a thriving esports scene. So, from day one, Valorant didn't feel like just another indie shooter. It felt like the start of something big. The timing of Valorant's release couldn't have been better. Tactical shooters like Counter-Strike, Global Offensive had already proven that the formula of tight gunplay, team strategy, and round-based gameplay could attract millions of dedicated players. FPS games were one of the most dominant genres in gaming. But Riot didn't just copy Counter-Strike. Instead, they combined the precision shooting of CSGO with unique character abilities, similar to games like Overwatch. Each character, or agent, had their own toolkit, from smokes and flashes to walls and drones. This blend of tactical depth and hero abilities gave Valorant its own identity. It wasn't just another CS clone, and it wasn't just another hero shooter. It was both, and that innovation drew attention immediately. Riot first teased Valorant under the codename Project A in 2019. Immediately, the hype began. Players wondered, what would Riot's FPS look like? Could it compete with Counter-Strike? Could it take on Overwatch? When the closed beta launched in April 2020, Valorant absolutely exploded on Twitch. Riot cleverly tied beta access to Twitch drops. If you wanted to play, you had to watch streams. This skyrocketed Valorant to the top of Twitch's charts. At one point, Valorant had over 1.7 million viewers simultaneously, a record at the time. By the time the game officially launched in June 2020, Valorant already had a massive community, content creators making videos daily, and esports organizations eager to sign teams. So why do people stick with Valorant? First, the gunplay. Riot focused heavily on precision shooting. The time to kill is fast, aim matters, and small mistakes can cost rounds. Second, the agent abilities. Smokes, flashes, walls, and recon tools make the game strategic and creative. Players have endless ways to approach a round. Third, the accessibility. Riot designed Valorant to run well even on lower-end PCs. You don't need a high-end gaming rig to compete, which opened the doors for millions of players around the world. This mix of competitive depth and broad accessibility is one of the main reasons Valorant reached so many players so quickly. But Riot didn't just make a shooter. They built an esports ecosystem from the start. Unlike other games that rely on community tournaments in the early days, Riot immediately invested in Valorant esports. In 2021, they launched the Valorant Champions Tour, a global competition structure with regional leagues, masters tournaments, and a world championship. This gave players and fans a clear path from casual play to the professional stage. Esports organizations from all over, like Sentinels, Fnatic, Team Liquid, Paper Rex, and Loud, jumped in. Major tournaments pulled in hundreds of thousands of live viewers, with some finals reaching over 1 million concurrent viewers. VALORANT esports has now become one of the pillars of competitive gaming. Another key to VALORANT's success is Riot's constant updates and connection to the community. New agents, new maps, balance patches, and cosmetic skins keep the game fresh. Riot listens to feedback, and while players don't always agree with every change, they know Riot is actively shaping the game alongside them. Streamers and content creators also played a massive role. Big names like Shroud, Tenzi, Pokimane, and countless others brought VALORANT to mainstream audiences. Clips went viral, montages flooded YouTube, and highlights filled TikTok. All of this kept VALORANT in the cultural spotlight. Now, a few years after its release, VALORANT stands as one of the biggest FPS games in the world. It's not just a game anymore. It's a community, a professional esport, and a cultural phenomenon. It continues to grow with every new season, every new agent, and every big tournament. Riot has successfully built a game that feels both familiar and innovative, and that's why players keep coming back. In the end, VALORANT's success story is a mix of smart timing, Riot's reputation, innovative gameplay, and a thriving esports ecosystem. From its explosive beta launch to its global tournaments, VALORANT proved that Riot could dominate not just MOBAs with League of Legends, but also the FPS world. VALORANT has achieved all of this in just a few short years since its release in 2020. And this is the story of how VALORANT became one of the most famous FPS games in the world.